Hello, 6th grade. Today we are working on lesson 7.2, which is evaluating algebraic expressions. If you have not done so, please get your workbook, and we are on page 72. Okay, the first section asks us to evaluate each expression for the given value of the variable. So what they're asking is, what is 6x plus 7 equal if x equals 5? The substitution property says that if x equals 5, I can put a 5 in for wherever there's an x. So 6x is 6 times x plus 7. X is 5, so it would be 6 times 5, and 6 times 5 is 30. And then we would add 30 plus 7, and that would give us 37. Let's look at 5. 5's a little bit trickier. We've got 50 minus, this is a big division problem. It is you multiply to find what the numerator is, and then we've got 3 as a denominator, and so we would divide the numerator by the denominator, and then we would add 4 times w. And it says w equals 6. So 7 times 6 is 42. Okay, and then I would take 42 and I would divide by 3. Well, if you were to divide 42 by 3, you would get 14. So we've got 50 minus, this simplifies to 14, plus 4 times 6 is 24. Order of operations says we move left to right. So we do 50 minus 14. 50 minus 14 is 36. Then 36 plus 24 is 60. So this simplifies to 60. All right, 7 is a little bit trickier because we've got this distribution problem. This 3 outside of the parentheses means whatever the work inside the parentheses simplifies to, we're going to multiply it times 3. So we're going to multiply 5 times p minus 1, get a number, and then multiply that number times 3. It tells us in the problem that p equals 4. So 5 times p would be 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20, and so we've got 20 minus 1. 20 minus 1 is 19, so it's going to be 3 times 19. If you were to multiply 3 times 19, you would get 57. And then we're going to subtract from 57 this. 3 times p is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. So it's going to be 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. So then we've got 57 minus 20 is 37. Let's look at number 11. Number 11, we are going to evaluate the expression when p equals 4. So again, 6 times p is 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. And then we add 24 plus 4, we get 28. Now this is 28 over 7, which is the same thing as 28 divided by 7. 28 divided by 7 is 4. And we're going to add to it 5 times p. Again, p is 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Then 20 minus 6 is 14. Since we have this 14 over 2, it's the same thing as 14 divided by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7, minus 3p. p is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Then we got 12 over 4, which is 12 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the first term simplified to 4, the second term simplified to 7, the third term simplified to 3. So 4 plus 7 is 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. So this equals 8. All right, let's flip it over. and see what we got there. This one on 13, we are evaluating each of the following again, but it is written in word form instead of algebraic form. So it says subtract 60 from the sum of 8e and 20, 8e and 20, when e equals 7. Okay, when it says subtract 60 from, we got to find first this one, the sum of 8e and 20. Sum tells us to add, and tells us where to add. So 8e is 8 times e. E is 7. 8 times 7 is 56. 56 and 20. We got to add them. 56 plus 20 is 76. So this simplifies to 76. Now the directions say subtract 60 from 76. Be careful with the wording there because you're going to start with a 76 and then you're going to subtract 60 from that. And 76 minus 60 is 16. So that simplifies to 16. All right, 15. This one is a little long and it says this is subtracted from this. So again, it's very similar to the wording in 13. Let's figure out what each of these numbers are, then read it with the numbers and that should help. So let's look at this. W is 6. So 15. 3 times, in parentheses, let's figure out the parentheses first. W squared, W is 6. 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36, minus 5 times W is 5 times 6, which is 30, plus 4, and that's in parentheses times 3. 36 minus 30 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. So we've got 3 times 10. 3 times 10 is 30. Okay. And now let's figure out what this is. Again, W is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. So in the parentheses, we've got 18 plus 2, and we're going to multiply that times 5. 18 plus 2 is 20. Times 5 is 100. Okay. So now let's read it with our simplified number. 30 subtracted from 100. So you've got to start with 100 and then subtract 30. And 100 minus 30 is 70. So the answer is 70. All right, let's do one more together. 17. The sum of this mess and this mess when m equals 12. And is where you're going to put the plus sign. So we got to figure out what this number is and what this number is, and then add them together. All right, m is 12, right? So this is 3/4 times 12 plus 4. 12 plus 4 is 16. So I'm going to multiply 3/4 times 16, but I'm going to write 16 in fraction form, which would be 16 over 1. And we are going to multiply them. Let's see if we can do any simplifying before we multiply. And one thing I notice is 4 and 16. 4 is a factor of 16. So I can mark through these. The 4 simplifies to 1, the 16 to 4. So now we've got 3 times 4 is 12 over 1 times 1 is 1. So that equals 12. Okay, so this is 12. Now let's see what this is. 5/6 of m minus 6. M again is 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. So it's 5/6 times 6. So we're going to do 5/6 times, again, 6 over 1. Write it in fraction form. Can we do any simplifying? The answer is yes. The 6 goes into 6 one time, so that simplifies to 1, which 5 times 1 is 5, 1 times 1 is 1. That's 5 over 1, which is 5. Okay, let's reread it with our number. The sum of 12 and 5. So it's telling us to add 12 plus 5. 12 plus 5 is 17. All right, class, we have done several together. Now I would like for you to do the rest on your own. Have a great evening, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye.